Good evening. Welcome back to this special edition of the Glazov Gang, our main feature on Egypt this evening. We're joined by Tiffany Gabbay, Adib Ghobrial, and Nonie Darwish. Welcome back to the Glazov Gang members. Ladies and gentlemen, article by Raymond Ibrahim in our magazine, frontpagemag.com. Raymond's always on the main scoop, getting the main news for us. And he reported that one of the final conversations between Morsi and the generals in the military, and Morsi saying, you can't do this to me, you're going to pay, Obama's going to be after you. In other words, Obama's got my back. This is Morsi speaking. Muslim Brotherhood, the genocidal mass murderers of Christians, anti-Semites, they have rape gangs, Sharia. Why does the American president have the back of the Muslim Brotherhood? Let's begin with you, Tiffany.
Well, Obama's the one who put him there. I mean, he has a vested interest. Obama looks like a fool if Morsi is deposed and his entire plan basically blows up in his face. So, not to mention that I believe Obama is ideologically aligned with Morsi's goals, and the fact that we have Muslim Brotherhood operatives within the administration and working so closely with the administration. I think it just, even for opportunistic political reasons, I think it looks bad for Obama, for the person he backed and basically put in power, to be deposed, so soon after. And I think that's basically what Morsi meant.
But Tiffany, we have pro-Morsi demonstrators in Egypt, in the Sinai, etc., that are waving al-Qaeda flags. We have Hamas sneaking into Egypt, attacking the military. Hamas, al-Qaeda behind Morsi, Obama behind Morsi. One more minute for me to understand this. This is an American president who is supporting the same people that al-Qaeda and Hamas is supporting.
But we're arming al-Qaeda rebels in Syria and in Libya anyway, and the Muslim Brotherhood is the grandparent of Hamas, Hezbollah, al-Qaeda. So, it's...
Tiffany, does the American president have an interest in hurting the United States or aiding the United States?
I think he sees it as aiding the United States by, basically bringing the United States back down to size where he feels it belongs. I think he thinks that that's a humbling experience that will be very good for America.
Yeah, he's helping America by, in other words, destroying it, according to my perspective. Right?
Exactly.
Adib?
With Obama and his ambassador in Egypt, they really damage the relationship between Egyptian and United States. The ambassador of the United States, she's like in bed with the Brotherhood. She went with to the house of what's his name, the one who was running for president, and they told him, no, you cannot run for president, and he's now the deputy of the Brotherhood. She went to his house, and even the Egyptian people said, what's his position here? He's not in government. She goes to his house. She went to the Pope of the Christian, and she put a pressure on him to tell the Christian in Egypt not to go include part of the revolution to the street on June 30th.
Right.
And he told him, the Christian of Egypt are Egyptian. They can do anything they want. She went to, who else? She met with the...
Okay, but the ambassador is on the side of the Islamists and the Muslim Brotherhood. This is what you're saying.
The American ambassador.
Right, the American ambassador.
They met with Egyptian ambassador here in Washington, D.C., with CNN, I think, did an interview, and he said, this is a revolution, it's not a coup, and he said, Morsi appointed him, and she told him, Morsi appointed him. He said, yes, and I vote for him, but he changed. He's doing everything wrong. I cannot support him anymore.
Thank you, Adib. This is just, Anderson Cooper's not saying anything about this. Pierce Morgan's not saying anything about this. MSNBC's not saying about this. This is just incredible. But a lot of the Egyptian people in their signs in the streets are actually saying, Obama, stop supporting these terrorists that are waging power over us and war over us. Nonie?
Well, I'm not pro-Obama, that's for sure. But if you notice that Egyptian government and people always love to blame America, and we cannot fall into that trap. Obama certainly made a big mistake. by believing the people. He surrounded himself after he came to office with Muslim Brotherhood, people who were sympathetic to the Muslim Brotherhood.
He thought that the Muslim world would love him.
Exactly. And not only that, they gave him the impression that the oppressed segment of society in Egypt and elsewhere are the Islamists, and that they are, look at all the surveys. President Obama, they all want to live under Sharia law. And it's true. All the surveys in Egypt stated that Egyptians want to live under Sharia law. So Obama bought this. And because he bought it, he really thought that the revolution, the first revolution that happened 2 years ago, was people wanted the Muslim Brotherhood. He really believed that. And he helped them. But he didn't understand something about the psyche of Muslims. It's very hard to please, and they are never satisfied. And what happened is, as soon as they brought the Muslim Brotherhood to power, now the flip sides come right away, and they don't want the Muslim Brotherhood. But at the same time, they call themselves Muslims. At the same time, we like Sharia. At the same time, it's America's fault. So whether it's Mubarak, it's America's fault. Whether it's Morsi, it's America's fault. And it doesn't matter. This is a culture that's based on never to self-criticize.
Yeah, and scapegoating.
Never. So it's always Israel's fault. It's always America's fault. But I really do believe that Obama sincerely thought he was helping the majority of Egyptians.
Okay.
And in a way, it's true, but because it was a tyrannical organization, a terrorist organization, he should have abstained. He should not have supported them, because after all, the Muslim Brotherhood, any Islamist organization, is a terrorist organization by nature.
Okay, thank you, Nonie. I want to move on to this for a minute. Thank you all for your very powerful viewpoints and interpretations of what's happening, a lot of knowledge that you're giving me and our viewers. There's a Benghazi angle here, I think, in terms of what we've read, what we know. Tiffany, how much do you know about it? Because apparently a lot of those terrorists in Benghazi were saying, Morsi sent us. Was there some kind of an angle here, Morsi, Benghazi, Obama, or are these just conspiracy theories?
I don't know whether they're conspiracy theories or not, but I don't think linking all of those components together is really so far-fetched when you consider that the Muslim Brotherhood is the parent of Hamas, Al-Qaeda, Hezbollah, and all of these Islamic jihadist groups. So, for example, on the anniversary of 9/11, there was rioting in Cairo with the waving the Al-Qaeda flag just at the U.S. Embassy, just as there was the siege at the U.S. diplomatic outpost in Benghazi, and we of course know what happened to Ambassador Stevens and our 2 Navy SEALs and additional civil servant there. We also talk about how there was that theory that Ambassador Stevens was the point man in a gun-running scheme that was arming al-Qaeda rebels.
But I'm sorry to interrupt here, but also that maybe there was an agenda to grab Stevens and exchange him for the blind sheikh. There's a lot of stuff.
Exactly, and there was a lot of talk about that. So it sounds like these are all unrelated issues, but they do have a common thread, and I do believe that the Muslim Brotherhood is that common thread.
Okay, Adib, what do you think about this, the Benghazi angle, and that
I
maybe there was a
believe-
kidnapping attempt for an exchange?
Even when they attacked in Cairo, attacked the American embassy, Morsi was part of that. I believe nothing. The Brotherhood members, they cannot do anything without the approval of the leader of the Brotherhood, which is Morsi and other 2 people. And it's now in Egypt, they're talking about it. I believe that they started with Egypt and then went to Benghazi, and this is exactly what you said, and I read something in Arabic for that Morsi sent them to, not to kill, to kidnap.
Stevens.
Yes, the ambassador of the American ambassador in Benghazi. And Morsi, after election, immediately he said, I promise you, I'm going to get the blind sheikh released from the United States. So
there was an attempt to have this exchange.
Exchange, exactly that.
Okay, thank you. Before we go to Nonie, you look like you want to say
Just
something?
a quick point, and exactly, and then Morsi can look like a hero, obviously, to his
and
people.
get a credit
and get
United-
credit.
And then
So-
maybe Obama can look like a hero by getting Stevens back.
Precisely, but if you also look at the fact that so they accused this low-rate YouTube video as spawning all of these protests,
Yes.
but these were not spontaneous protests. These were very well-organized protests. So
Yeah.
soon after this incident, you literally see millions of people on the street. This was organized by the Muslim Brotherhood. They are the ones who have that kind of rallying power.
Yeah.
And they were the ones who were organizing people
Thank
and telling
you.
them to come out on the streets and come out in mass
Tiffany,
and protest.
again, if Morsi and the Muslim Brotherhood are the murderers, the rapists, the executioners of Stevens and our American people, how is Obama supporting Morsi? Nonie? What's the angle on Benghazi?
Well, Obama is most probably now very worried because with Morsi out of power, there is a possibility that he's going to speak, especially if he's angry that Obama did not support him. Morsi could be harmful for Obama because there was too much coordination between Morsi, Egypt, and the American government regarding Benghazi. So this scandal now might be used by Morsi as a blackmail for Obama support to bring him back to power.
Yeah, because maybe they know things about Obama, right?
So we don't know. I think Morsi has to be really worried now.
You
And
mean Obama?
Obama
Yeah.
and Morsi.
Because Obama's hands are dirty.
Yeah.
And I would say that both Hillary
Yeah,
and
and
Obama's
Morsi
hands...
should be worried about his life, actually.
In what? Who's going to get him?
I don't know,
But he knows too much. He knows too much. But, you know, I will say that Obama lied and Americans died
Absolutely.
in Benghazi.
Absolutely.
And still the cover-up continues. Who gave this stand-down order?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us suppose that Obama gets impeached for Benghazi, which I personally think needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Because this is much worse
This
than
is
Watergate.
horrible.
What happened, and also blaming this on the video. The only person that's been punished is this filmmaker instead of even the murderers of Americans. Let me ask you this. New president comes into power, whoever it is, and calls you three, because this new president finds out you were on the Glazov gang, the smartest people on Egypt. Tiffany, he calls you and asks you for advice on what he should be doing right now vis-a-vis Egypt and the developments there. What counsel do you give the new president?
Counsel to the new president. It's a hard one because do I suggest that they continue to support the military because they're the only ones with the power to tamp down the Islamists, or do they, support? The problem is, even if there is a moderate party that comes out that I could advise a president to support, those moderates cannot be trusted either.
But Tiffany, you have to tell him something or her something. What advice do you give? What should American foreign policy be at this moment?
I think at this moment, they need to support the military.
Okay.
Yeah, until a truly hopeful Democratic or pro-West candidate might come up into the ranks.
You are called in the middle of the night, even though you're fatigued and tired in the middle of your sleep, Adib. What advice do you give?
That you have to have a democratic country. Democratic, 100% democratic, free of religion, free of speech, free of everything. I mean, be like European, be like Western country.
But Adib, we know this. This is the ideal. But as Nonie and also Tiffany have indicated on some levels, this is impossible for Egypt.
Egyptian people, the one taking the lead now, who started this revolution, the youth.
Okay. You
The
believe
youth-
that they're secular? And,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, but technically, specifically, what should U.S. foreign policy be at this moment towards Egypt? Who should they be supporting? Should they be hands-off? Should they be supporting the military? What should they be doing?
Well, I just want to mention the Egyptian people now, they think that like, 1.5 billion, the aid that is going to help Egypt, is 1.5 million is not helping Egypt. And Egypt, they said, we don't need United States help.
Okay.
They said that.
Okay.
But it's not United States as a friend, not because the 1.5 billion. As a friend, they should help Egypt because Egypt control the whole Middle East.
Okay, thank you. Nonie, your advice to the new president.
Okay, I'm the new president of Egypt, and this is what I'm going to tell people in my first speech.
Wait, you're the first president?
Yes, I am now pretending to be the first president, I mean, the president.
Oh, so you're not answering
the
my...
newly
Well, just wait.
elected
Before you tell me
president.
that, could you just quickly tell me what you would tell the new president?
Yeah, that's what I will tell him to say.
Oh,
That's what I'm going to tell the president to say, okay?
wait.
We need,
okay.
we
all
need a
right.
huge change in Egypt. And
Okay.
it's not a change of leadership. We need a change of the heart. We need a new philosophy. We need a new change from within, a total change of our educational system, a total change of our attitude, of our taking responsibility for ourselves. Enough. We are not going to be blaming Israel anymore. We're not going to be blaming America anymore. America has nothing to do with our internal problems. Israel has nothing to do with our internal problems. No single man heading Egypt can do anything unless all of you help build this country on freedom, through freedom. And the freedom should be coming from minding our own business regarding women, regarding men, and the end of jihad, the concept of jihad has to end. It worked very well for Islam in the old days, but right now we are here to build Egypt, and I need your help to build this country back to greatness.
Nonie, maybe you should go back and become the new president of Egypt. That would be a revolutionary speech. But unfortunately, I don't see something like that happening, right?
Unfortunately, we need somebody who has the guts to say that.
We have run out of time because all good things must come to an end, including the Glazov gang episodes. 20 seconds each. Final thoughts on Egypt. Tiffany.
You know, people always say, is there hope in the Middle East? And I think that there is, but it really is going to take siding with people who really believe in secularism and Western values. And that was why I always talk about why Obama should have supported the Green Revolution in Iran. Not just Obama, you know, we supported bin Laden, you know, how many years ago. We always seem to take the wrong side and help support the people who truly don't have democracy at heart. And we need to really start looking at who those people are and helping to support them.
Right, but I think that unfortunately they are the minority. Adib?
I'm optimistic.
Okay.
I'm optimistic by nature. I'm optimistic, and I believe in the youth. And the youth, they're going to be in government, and they want the change. They got sick and tired of the past, and they want a new Egypt. And I'm optimistic that they will take the leader. They're going to hire the right person in the right position, and they're going to take Egypt to a new level, a new freedom.
So you see a kind of a counter movement against Islamization.
Yes.
Nonie, final words of wisdom go to you.
I don't think that secularism will be able to succeed in Egypt unless there is a deep down reformation movement within Islam itself. As long as Islam is being taught the same way it's being taught since the 7th century, we will always have these two opposing poles fighting each other in every Muslim country. And for any Muslim country to see the light of day and see freedom and democracy, they have to, they cannot continue having Salafis and Muslim Brotherhood. These people have to reform themselves and accept change in their religion.
Thank you so much, Tiffany Gabbay,
Thank you.
Adib Ghobrial, and Nonie Darwish. It was an honor and a privilege to have you here educating our viewers on the troubling events in Egypt, but somewhat also giving us some hope, right? We'll see you next week on the Glazov Gang. Good night.